Welcome to Fantasy Baseball, Baseball, Baseball. I'm Dan today along with Steve Romano. Hey, Steve.
How you doing, Dan?
I'm doing good. Let's talk about the head-to-head league Field of Dreams.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm a fan.
I'm a fan too. It's a great league, one of the most competitive leagues, very active head-to-head league. I've been in it for a decade. Steve, you've been in for 5 years. We had some very exciting action this past week because we had some changes in how things went.
Yeah, some teams that were really down around, 9, 10, 11 a month ago,
Yeah,
they're up there now. They are in the playoffs picture.
absolutely. Let's go into last week's matchups. This is the positions they were in last week, and the teams that played them. I beat Atlanta Braves 9-1. I was a two playing a nine. That did not help Braves' chances going into the last week. Obviously, Carnival 9 was in the three position. Well, lost to IP Tigers 9-1, who was in the eight position last week.
Yeah.
That was
And
a
now, I
big
mean, I know,
upset.
and now I know you'll get to it, but now they're like almost switched in the
Yeah, they've
standings,
almost switched
really.
with that 9-1 win. You're exactly right. Mr. Awesome Momo's the number one team, won 8-2 over the Crabs, the Commish. Creek Expos beat Taters 7-3.
Yeah. I mean,
You
it
were
was
ahead.
5-4.
Yeah, you were
Yeah.
ahead at the beginning of the week.
It was 6-3 for a couple days. It was 5-4. Then it was 4-5. Ended up 3-7.
We all know that your players are beginning of the week players. We discussed that before. So
Yeah.
juiced up for Summer, who was in the sixth spot, beating the number five spot 6-3. That was a big matchup actually. Baltimore Chop won over the Lollygaggers 5-3. That helped him a little. He's kind of in the outside looking in. SoCal Stat Challenge. The number 13 team beat number four Lumber Company 7-3. So that was big. And so last week's stats, the playoff teams were Momo, Sliders, Carnival 9, Lumber, Raptor, and Juiced Up for Summer. They were the top six. But now it's changed, Steve.
Quite a bit.
Absolutely. Momo's still ahead, but only by half a game over me. Juiced Up to Summer went from sixth to third.
And I'm telling you, a month ago, they were down there. I mean,
Yes,
Juice, Juiced Up for Summer made a run.
absolutely. I'd love to know what that run is. There now, Momo's is in first, and I'm half a game behind that. Juiced Up for Summer is 10 games back. So definitely a different tier when it comes to their place. But they're secure right now at number three going into last week of the season. IP Tigers now in fourth place. Last week, IP Tigers was in eighth place.
Yeah.
Amazing.
IP Tigers.
Love it. Raptor last week was in fifth. This week, still in fifth. And then Lumber Company's in sixth place. Last week they were in fourth. So Lumber Company slipped from fourth to sixth. So let's talk about who's still in the running. Creek Expos, who are close by at number seven. They're only half a game behind Raptor and Lumber Company. And
And remember, we got one. This is the last
this is it.
week.
This is
This
it.
is it,
But half a game,
right? So,
totally in. Totally in.
oh, yeah, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Carnival Nine's one game back, totally it. I mean, anything can happen this week.
Yes. And, yeah. And then Baltimore
Baltimore
Chop.
Chop. So this is the one where are they on the bubble? So they're 2.5 games back, right? But I say they're in it still. Obviously, they are if they have an 8-1 week and the team's ahead of them, but they're within reach.
The Baltimore Chop. I mean, they have not been playing strong. These are their past 5 weeks or so, right? They had a 5-3 last week, but then a 2-7, a 5-5, a 2-8, and a 2-7.
Oh, so they've fallen. So they need a
Yeah.
big week to stay. They're, as we said, 2.5 games back. That's very interesting. By the way, what is juiced up for summer? You said they've been on a good streak. Let's check those numbers out. Juiced
Yeah,
up for
actually,
summer's last few weeks.
IP Tigers are better, but juiced up for summer. Yeah, actually, it was 6-3 last week. Then before that, they had a 1-7 loss to IP Tigers,
Oh,
and then before that, that had a 7-3 and an 8-2.
oh, so they've
Right, so
had
they
in
had
three of the four. But so tell me about IP Tigers last few weeks.
so IP Tigers last few weeks. Do, do, do. Come on now. IP Tigers. Oh my goodness. Well, their last 3 weeks are 9-1, 7-1, 9-0. So,
Whoa!
so, so they're 25-2 in their last 3 weeks.
That
That's
is a
pretty damn
great
good.
breakdown. My goodness, they're in fourth place, but not secure. But they'd have that fall apart this week. So, but wow, that is very interesting. And then SoCal Stat Challenge, Atlanta Braves, Humboldt Crabs, Big Time Taters, and Mighty Lollygaggers probably too far back with 1 week to go. But Steve, it's an important week, and that's why I love this league. Everyone's going to stay active, and the matchups are
Yep.
interesting. I'm playing Juiced Up for Summer. I'm number two. They're number three.
Ooh,
Raptor is
yeah.
number five. Is playing IP Tigers, who's number four.
See, now that's a big one for Raptor
Yeah,
because they're tied. 5 and 6 are tied, but 7 and 8 are like a game behind them. And IP Tigers is like we just said, they're 25-2 over their last 3 weeks. So if they get laid down a whoop by IP Tigers, Raptor could get bounced.
absolutely. And then this is why it's a great league because everyone's active. We need these teams out of playoff contention, maybe playing for the reserve playoffs, but we need them because you're playing number one, Momo. You're 13th place, and then Lollygaggers number 14 is playing Creek Expos, who's in seventh place. That's a good matchup for Creek, absolutely. And then Carnival 9 in the eighth spot is playing Baltimore Chop, who's in the ninth spot. That's a big series.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But who either of those teams, they need to win big, right? Carnival 9 or Baltimore Chop, like they need like a 7-2 or a 8-1 type of week. A 5-4 week doesn't do anything for either of them.
Doesn't do anything. The Atlanta Braves at 11 is taking on the SoCal Stat Challenge at number 10. And then Lumber Company at number 2 playing Commissioner, who's number 12 out of the playoffs race, but can make a dent because Lumber Company's in the 6. So that's a big matchup. Number 6 against the Commish.
Absolutely. I mean, 12.5, 12.5, 13, 13.5. Those are the teams that are really all battling, 5, 6, 7, and 8, all still alive going into the last week of the season.
Absolutely. And, I'm not going to go over all the moves. Almost every team has over, 30, a few teams under. But Lumber Company still only 5 moves on the year. Amazing.
Impressive.
Impressive. And then Stony Sliders with 80 to lead the league. Oh my goodness. Well, you're giving me those
Would you
moves.
say, yeah, would you say you've used every move every week?
No, no, not at all.
Oh,
Weeks
all right.
like this past week, I didn't really make hardly any moves. I made one or two, I believe. But I had a big lead and I didn't need to.
Right.
So some weeks when I'm way ahead, I don't feel the need to. But when I'm behind, absolutely, I make every single move to get every single stat I can. So this is a very exciting last week, 1 week to go before the playoffs. A real quick review. I don't see anybody who's really in the pickups that really stand out as we continue talking about the pickups every week. Let's see some. Oh, actually, Carnival 9 picked up Marcy. That's a good pickup for stolen bases.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I thought,
I
didn't
see
Carnival
some of it.
9 lose big last week? I believe they did, and I believe that was the only category they won in, and they had 11 stolen bases. I
Yeah.
looked it up earlier, so that was
Yeah, they
amazing.
were 1-9.
They had Marcy playing. IP Tigers picked up Varsho, so that's a big win. Pick up for a playoff possibility. Cortez was picked up and dropped by Raptor. IB Tigers picked up Horton. Momos, the division leader, picked up Blade, dropped Martin. Momos picked up Lopez and dropped Blade. Carnival 9 added Slitier. That's an interesting name. A pitcher.
Yeah, Schlittier, right, from the
Slitier.
Yankees. Schlitter.
Slitier, it looks like IER. That's interesting. And Momos also picked up Waldrop the pitcher, and dropped Murphy the catcher. I picked up Aiken, who may close for Baltimore. That was my one move. Burke picked up. Eflin dropped by the chop. Mayo picked up by the chop. Nothing
Yeah.
really else stands out. Steer picked up by the chop could be big as he dropped Mayo. And Momo's picked up Ozuna, who seems to be hitting again.
He is, but I mean, sure. I mean, if you're just looking for a guy to like you said, it's not just picking up pitchers to give you, they're rotating in and out on a weekly basis, but picking up guys, hitters, if you have nobody to play at a position on a certain day, you want to get your third baseman in there or whatever. So there's always that. But I think he's only playing like, if there's a 7 games in a week, I think Ozuna's only playing 3 of them these days.
Wow. Wow. And I wanted to thank you.
Because
Yeah, yeah.
the Braves got the two great catchers, right? They got Baldwin, the
Yes.
rookie, and
But
Murphy,
since
the veteran.
but Ozuna's been playing better and he's been getting more playing time.
Yes, more, but they're using those guys at DH, the catchers at DH,
Right.
because they have more faith in them than they do Ozuna
But lately, Ozuna's hitting.
lately. Yeah, sure. Past like 10 days, maybe.
And in this league, if someone's hitting good for a week, I love them.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely. And
that's what the thing about head to head. If someone has a great week, I'm all over it. So, real quick thank you to Kamish. He sent an email out. I don't know if you saw that, Steve. He explained
yep.
the roster size, and which I'm fine with. We were just talking about it. And when he ends the
Yeah.
league, yeah, we were upset. Yeah, absolutely. We were just discussing it. We're fine with however the Kamish sets it up. But thanks for the reply. And I got to tell you, being in second place, I'm really excited. I'm going to make the playoffs. I'm going for my three-peat, but I love all the races going on down to the last week.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's a lot of things could happen. And yeah, and I want to give a shout out to the commish too, all that. Super cool that he typed that up. He didn't have to waste his time on us, but it was cool that he did.
Absolutely. I thought I loved it. I love reading it. So kudos to all the teams playing and staying active, and good luck to the number 9, 8, 7, 6, and 5 and 4 teams. And even 3 if Juice Summer had a bad week. I mean, it's going to be tight this last week. So good luck to all. I'm Dan O'Day. That's Steve Romano. That's the Field of Dreams podcast talk. Cheers.
Have a good one.